Hello, children. Welcome back to your English class. In the previous video, we have started chapter 1 and we have discussed about the starter activity. And I am very glad that most of you have done the starter activity very nicely. You can also check the starter activity on the given page just down to the starter activity where the answers are given. So you can yourself check what you have done, whether it is correct or not. And suppose if any answer you have written is incorrect, please correct it down. Now children, again we are resuming with the same chapter, chapter 1, The Best Christmas Present in the World by Michael Morpurgo. In the previous video, I requested you all to go through the chapter once. So those who have read the chapter, now it will be very easy for them to understand the chapter. And right now children, I am going to explain you the chapter through a very beautiful animation. The best Christmas present in the world. The author found a roll-top desk in a junk shop. It was in a bad condition, but cheap. He thought that he could restore it. So he bought it. He began to work on it on Christmas Eve. He pulled out the drawers. He found that these had been badly damaged by air and water. The man who sold it had told him that it was very old. When it opened, it revealed a secret space. In it, he found a small tin box. On the top of the box, words were written, Jim's last letter, received January 25, 1915, to be buried with me when the Tim comes. Inside, there was an envelope with the ad, Mrs. Jim Macpherson, 12, Copper Beaches, Bridport. The date was December 26, 1914. The author read the letter. The owner of the desk must have put it in. The letter had been written by the captain of an English army. His name was Jim Macpherson. He had written it to his wife, Connie. A wonderful incident had happened on the battlefield on the Christmas day. Jim Macpherson had narrated in his letter. The English and the Germans were at war. The two armies stood in their respective trenches on the two sides of the number 1 no man's land. Suddenly, Macpherson saw someone waving a white flag from the enemy side. Then he saw many German soldiers calling out to them. They were wishing a happy Christmas to the English soldiers. Some English soldiers shouted back, "Same to you." The English thought that was all. To their surprise, they saw many Germans moving towards them. The captain was alarmed. It could be a trick, but it was not. Then the German officer said that he was from Dusseldorf and that he played cello in the orchestra. He gave his name as Hans Wolf. In return, Macpherson also introduced himself. He said that he was a school teacher from Dorset. He said he knew Dorset. In fact, he had never been to England, but he knew English. His favorite writer was Thomas Hardy. His favorite book was Far from the Madding Crowd. It was from there he had learned all about Dorset. Macpherson shared with Hans Wolf the Christmas cake his wife had sent for him. A soldier brought out a football. The soldiers played while Macpherson and Wolf clapped and cheered. Wolf suggested that the world would be much better if the problems were resolved by a football match instead of a war. All the drinks and eatables were consumed. Now it was time to part. Hans Wolf saluted Macpherson and walked away slowly and unwillingly. That night the Germans were heard singing a carol. The English soldiers replied with a rousing chorus of another carol. They exchanged carols for a while and then it was all silence. Macpherson wrote in his letter that he would treasure those memories all his life. Macpherson ended the letter hoping that the war would end soon. Both armies longed for peace and he was sure they would be together again. Having read the letter, the author put it back in the envelope. He decided to give the letter back to whom it belonged. The address was of Bridport, Dorset, so he drove to that place. The house number 12 turned out to be a burnt-out shell. It was found that Mrs. Macpherson was in the house when it caught fire. The rain had got her out just in time. She was 101 years old. Now she was in a nursing home. The author went to the nursing home. He met the matron. She told the author that Mrs. Macpherson was rather confused. The author found Mrs. Macpherson sitting in a chair. She looked up at the author, but her eyes lit up when he called her Connie. He told her how he had got the letter, but she was not listening to him. She reached out and took his hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. She felt that her Jim had returned. She said that her Jim had kept his promise. He had returned on the eve of Christmas. She made him sit beside her and she kissed his cheek. She talked long and lovingly to him. She said that she had got the best Christmas present in the world. Children, I hope you all have enjoyed the animation and have understood a little about the chapter. Now, children, these are the new words I have taken from the chapter. And if you can see very carefully, page numbers are also mentioned here. Okay, like for example, page number 9 with 2 words. It means when you open page number 9, the text given on page number 9, you can find out these 2 words. Now what you have to do, you have to highlight all these words with your highlighter in your book. Okay, now I'm going to pronounce all the words and I'm trying to explain you. See children, the first word is clumsily. Clumsily means children in a very awkward and careless way. Fine. Roll top. Roll top is a kind of flexible working area of a desk. Now, page number 10. Underneath. Underneath is something which is situated below or downside. Curiosity. Curiosity means a strong desire to know something or do something. Then, scruples. This meaning is given in your book also, but fine, we can see the feelings that make you hesitate to do something wrong. Fine children? Now, page number 11. Trenches. Trenches are long, deep ditches in the ground where soldiers hide from the enemy in the war. Parapet. Parapet is a kind of balcony or bridge situated near to the edge of the wall. Then, schnapps. Okay, how we can pronounce it? Schnapps. Schnapps is a German drink made from grain. Sausage. Sausage also children is a non-vegetarian dish. Orchestra. Orchestra is a band or a group of instrumentalists. Now, page number 12. Mingling. Mingling is blend or mixing together. Orphaned. Orphaned is a child whose parents are dead. Page number 13. Generously is kindly. Goodwill. Goodwill means a cooperative nature or friendly attitude of someone. Now page number 14. Terrible. Terrible is extremely bad. Muddle-headed. Muddle-headed is someone who is mentally confused. If you remember, we have studied a poem in your previous class, grade 7, Muddlehead. Now page number 15. Matron, a woman in charge at a boarding school. Conservatory. Conservatory is a greenhouse or we can say a glass house. Wispy. Wispy is feathery. So children, these are the new words and the little explanations of the meanings of that words. Fine children, if you have any problem related with the understanding, related to understand the meaning of any word, please take help of dictionary. Today's assignment children, whatever new words we have discussed it right now, what you have to do, first of all you have to highlight those words in your book and then you have to write down the new words very neatly in your fair notebook. Okay children, and make sure that you should know the meaning of each and every word. You know the pattern, okay, as this work will be the first page of your notebook. So mention the date, okay, then chapter 1, name of the chapter by Then write down new words, divide the page in two halves. Okay, like I think 20 new words are there, so 10 on one side and 10 on one side. Then see page number 10. There you can find out comprehension check, and two questions are there, question 1 and 2. These two questions are related with the section 1 of this chapter. Okay, so do read section 1 again. Fine. Both the questions are very easy. Both the questions are factual questions, so it will be very easy for you all to answer them. Write down both the questions and answer them in your own words. So these are the two assignments for today. We'll meet again in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself and have a nice day.